Racing. Today we are doing a time trial in a 1999 Honda S2000 on Comfort Soft tires at the Grand Valley Highway. This is a stretch of road along the Big Sur Coast Highway in California with crazy elevation changes and dramatic off-turn, on-turn cambers. It's hard to tell what to do, but we're going to find out. The estimated time is a 2:16, so let's see what we do with our first attempt as we enter turn 2. Bombing down the hill, shifting to third. Very fast downhill and a sharp right. We get a lot of drama in the car, in the front end, some squiggle. This car demands a lot from the driver, a lot of keeping the wheel straight while you're braking hard, and you have to pull off of that brake pedal very slowly, or the nose of the car gets to be out of control. Here we go, keeping the car in a lot of control here, downshifting to second, entering turn 9, not really using all of the track, getting a lot of drama entering that, downshifting to first and pointing the nose in, charging up the hill as fast as the car allows us. Braking hard, coming off of it slow, driving smooth, maybe too smooth. We're in second, trying to get that car pointed to turn. A lot of drama as we come across the bridge. Slamming on the brakes at the 150 point, downshifting to first. Trying to touch that curbing, but we don't make it. We're way off of that curbing. But we're learning. We're learning what the car needs. This is our first run as we enter through the tunnel, keeping the car steady through the tunnel turn. Exiting the tunnel at 117 miles an hour, shifting to fifth. And our first attempt being a pathetic 2:27.371. Here's our second attempt. This car is fantastic. I would take it over Miata any day. Here we come, blasting out of the tunnel, shifting to fifth. Entering turn 1, trying to get as close to that sand as possible, slamming on the brakes at the 400 point, overcooking it. But on corner exit of turn 2, we're going down this hill much faster. Top of fourth, we let off, turn in, touch the gas a little, back on the gas, full throttle. Pushing out very wide, trying to brake in a straight line here, entering this turn but not at the right angle, getting a lot of sidewall action there out of the tires. But we're much further ahead of the ghost. We pushed ourselves through it. Shifting to second, but pushing out wider to keep the car stable through that turn. Entering turn 10, entering the sharp turn 11, keeping the car in second to cut down on shift time and drama. Braking in a straight line, downshifting to second for turn 12. Car is quite unstable. Trying to get the car pointed for the bridge. We waited a little bit too long on that, but we're much further along than our first attempt there. Slamming on the brakes, downshifting all the way to first really early. It was a video game downshift. Our transmission would probably be toast. Touching that curb, being nowhere near that curb, early shift to second, shifting to third, going across the bridge, and entering the tunnel. There it is, a 2:21.513, massive improvement by 6 seconds. Gets us bronze. Now here come the mistakes. Overcooking turn 2, right through the barrier there, not braking early enough, or in a straight line. The wheel has to be straight. Here we go, bombing the hill, and so many mistakes like that where I would just cut into the sand, not getting the nose pointed early enough. This is a rare mistake, but here we go, spinning the car in the tunnel. Just a little bit of scratched paint, nothing to worry about. Trying to keep the car stable, but if you let off of that brake early enough, especially in a lower gear, then you're turning, you're spinning. A lot of lift-off oversteer. Here comes some more lift-off oversteer. Actually, that was just not enough braking in a straight line there. But this is our lift-off oversteer moment. That was actually too much hesitation. I was on the brakes and it was just, yep, there we go. If you hesitate and you brake hard and you turn in without letting go of the brake enough, you just push. You plow right into what's in front of you. But here we go. Here's a third attempt. This is going to be a solid third or fourth attempt here as we blast out of the tunnel. Shifting into fifth. And the time starts. Going into turn 1, braking hard in a straight line at the 350 mark. Downshifting to second, trying to get that nose pointed. Bombing down the hill, shifting to third. Going out a little bit toward that other lane. Feel like it pushes you down the hill a little bit faster, just by a couple tenths of a second. Really getting that car pointed, cutting into the gutter a little, keeping the car to the left more. That's what you want. You brake hard in that straight line. And we're out wide a little bit, getting onto the power slowly but surely, shifting to third. Letting the car coast, touching the gas a little bit. Staying in third, shifting to second, upsetting the car, but we're right on that ghost. Letting the car push through here, downshifting to first and getting really close to that sand, trying to get it pointed. That could have been much better. Could have had the car pointed earlier, but we're in third now. Entering turn 12, braking hard, but not hard enough and not early enough, and a lot of drama there. Trying to get the car pointed early, losing momentum, and now we're in third, we're pushing right through the ghost here. Slamming on the brakes at the 125 point, downshifting to second, keeping it in second. We realize the video game downshift is not the answer. Making it through that final curving turn there, into third, into fourth across the bridge. Entering the tunnel, we're looking pretty good here. Car's very stable, shifting to fifth before we even make it out of the tunnel. That's a good sign. And a solid improvement by 1 second. 1.2 seconds. A slight improvement there, but not worth watching the entire lap. Here's our 5th attempt. Up onto that curve and pushing out of the tunnel. Entering turn 1. Getting really close to that sand, slamming on the brakes at the 375 point, coming off. And in second, keeping the car stable, going downhill. Lifting at the shadow, turning in, getting the car pointed back onto throttle full, and getting the car pointed to the left. A little bit of squiggle as we slam onto the brakes, straight line, keeping the car as stable as we can. Late on full acceleration there, I would say. But little drama. Staying in third for science, but we end up downshifting and touching the rev limiter. So that is a sign that maybe that's not the way. Staying in second, we don't touch first. We're experimenting with gearing here. There must be a better way. This ghost that's in front of us was loaded in from the leaderboard. The one behind me is my last time. Earlier shift to third as we cross the bridge. Slamming onto the brakes at the 100 board and trailing off. Staying in second. Really waiting for that apex, but not cutting the car in far enough. Really on that curving so we can avoid this curving and get a flat out acceleration as much as possible. Early shift to third so that we can keep the car stable. Looking pretty good as we enter the tunnel here. Here's our final straight of our 5th attempt. And a full second improvement. That feels good. There we go. Turn 2, we're doing that video game downshift again. Going first, braking the transmission. Like those are easy to find. We come down the hill, we are not looking hot. We have to make up 2/10 right now, but we're slowly but surely doing it. Yes, we go all the way off of the road there, which is allowed. Really, you're using that curbing on that turn back there. Now we're really improving. We're in third. Turn 7 and 8. Here's turn 9. Really keeping the car stable, really getting into that dirt. Learning what the width of the track truly is here. And a really good, just patient, slow in, fast out on that last turn. Our ghost is ahead of us now, but it really shows you something. Turn 12, too much drama, too much sidewall action there. Where we entered the bridge, early shift to third, a little bit of back and forth from the front of the car. Hard braking, trailing off, but unfortunately that video game downshift with an early shift up to second, trying to keep the car stable, and it did help a little bit. Keeping the car off of the curbing entirely, and that gave us a half a second improvement. Looking back there for the ghost like it's going to creep up on us, which it actually slowly but surely is. Shifting to 5th before we exit the tunnel again. Here we come across the straight, through the lights, 0.471 faster. And that brings us down to the point where we have earned ourselves silver. But we've got 4.8% more to go compared to the top drivers. We're pretty low on the leaderboard. Here we go. We know we can get more. We feel the motivation. We feel the pressure. We love the pressure. Blasting through the tunnel, seeking that goal. Grand Valley Highway 1. And the timer starts. Into turn 2, late downshifts, keeping it in 2nd. Really getting close there. Really getting close to the edge. Pointing downhill, but keeping it in that lane. We're in 4th, lifting off the throttle, pointing in. Full throttle, lifting a little bit, lifting a little bit. We should have been full throttle this whole time, but that's all right. We kept it to the left. Downshift to 2nd, and we lose the rear end a little. We're back in it. Letting off throttle about 50% all the way. Braking in a straight line, hopefully. Losing the rear a little. Here we go. Braking, downshifting to 2nd. Turn 11, really trying to get close so we can get that car pointed. A little bit of chatter from the front end there. Entering turn 12, late downshift, keeping the car wide, then pointing in, finding that is a better answer. Turn 13, getting the car pointed. Waiting a little bit too long to shift to 3rd, but here we go, crossing the bridge. Slamming on the brakes at 100. Staying in 2nd. Keeping the drama to a minimum, waiting for that late apex. Touching the curbing. Just slightly touching that curbing, shifting to 3rd. We're in the dust. Through the tunnel, onto the final stretch. Across the line, and we have a 2:17.420. So here we are with our Liberty Cannabis 420 S2000 livery. Isn't it beautiful? And here we are, attempting to break our 2:17.420 in our Liberty Cannabis S2000. Shouts out to Holistic Industries and all of their dispensaries. Cross the line and the time starts. Entering turn 1. Braking hard at the 350 point. Slow downshifts while we keep the car straight. Early shift to third. As we bomb the hill, we go straight down the hill, we start to turn in. Shifting to fifth and letting off, letting the car coast. Fully onto throttle, able to keep the car very stable with this new gearing. Slow downshifts, but we let off the gas, or let off the brake a little bit too late, which caused the car to fight. Staying in third and letting the car coast. Braking slightly in a straight line, downshifting to second, shifting to third, trying to find what is right. Third feels more stable in that turn. We're in second, staying in second, really trying to get the nose pointed, being patient with that throttle. Fighting the car uphill, entering turn 12, really getting close to that edge there. Keeping the car wide, staying in third, downshifting a lot later than any of our previous attempts. Shifting to third, letting off, letting the car turn in itself while it coasts, and we are fully on throttle with a little bit of fighting from the nose across the bridge. Slamming onto the brakes, late downshift into second, shifting to third, shifting to second. We don't know what we're doing. With such an error in shifting, it's a surprise that this is still an improvement. Entering the tunnel. Blasting out of the tunnel, shifting into second or fifth earlier, much earlier. Cross. 3/10 faster than we were. Here's another attempt. In the Livery Cannabis S2000, entering the tunnel, trying to keep the wheel as straight as possible, shifting to fifth early. It seems that we have enough low torque to do that, and we jump a couple miles an hour more than we were if we waited. We're really trying to learn how to use that top part of the RPM. Very patient with our downshifts, just a slight touch of the throttle in second, very early shift to third, we're bombing down the hill. Early shift to fourth, early shift to fifth, letting off right before that shadow, letting the car coast, fully onto throttle now and fighting the wheel to the left. Braking hard in a straight line around the 400 marker. We're in second now, getting the car to turn in and trying to let it push out to the left so that we don't get any drama. We're in third, we're letting the car coast. With a lot of squeal from these comfort softs. In third, we're keeping it in third, trying to keep the drama down, pushing out to the left with hard braking, downshift to second. Keeping it in second and really getting it pointed. Now we are able to throw this car up the hill. We're in third. Entering turn 12, hard braking in a straight line, shifting into second, but a little bit too soon to get some slide. We're in third. We're letting the car coast. We're back onto the throttle 50%, 100%. We should have been 100 when we were at 50. We would have pushed to the left a little bit, but it would have been fine. This is a good attempt here. I'm slamming on the brakes at the 100 board, going down to second, waiting for that late apex, getting the car pointed, letting off, getting really close to that, onto the curbing, really almost losing it because of that last part of that curbing there, but we're in third. Luckily, all 4 tires slid evenly after we dropped off of that. A little bit of squiggle before this final straight here. Cross. 3/10 faster than we were. 4/10 faster than we were. We're back in our new Formula Red S2000 with championship white wheels, the way this car was meant to be driven. Entering the tunnel. We feel it now, we taste it now. We know gold is near. Exiting the tunnel in 5th. Entering turn 2 with early but patiently spaced downshifts. Early shift to 3rd as we bomb down the hill, barely touching that curbing on the left. Utilizing that right lane, we get back into the left. We're letting the car coast, getting it pointed in, touching the dirt on the right, touching the dirt on the left, getting into that right lane, really breaking in a straight line, patient downshifts, keeping it close. Here comes turn 8, well 7. Really just not finding the right line for that yet. There we go, touching the dirt, entering turn 9. It's turn 10. And fighting our way up the hill. Allowing the car to push forward a little bit to use the momentum, that looked good. We're slowly approaching the Ghost. It was good timing with our throttle coming out of that turn. Hard braking at 100 board, spacing out those downshifts, waiting for the late apex, getting some drama, touching that curb, going across this curb, shifting to 3rd. Across the bridge we go. Entering the tunnel, getting that car pointed and getting the wheel straight as soon as we can. Keeping the car in a straight line. We're not sure if we keep it in a straight line here or go to the right a little, but we get a good improvement there. Turn 2, 4th, 3rd, 2nd. Early shift to 3rd. Maybe the earliest we've done, and that gives us about 3/10 before we squiggle on that downhill exit and we lose most of it. Late on that shift to 5th, touching as much of the curbing as we were allowed back there. We're 2/10 ahead now. Patient downshifts and getting the car pointed gets us about 3/10 for half a second. We're half a second improvement here. Here we go, entering turn 8, turn 9, turn 10, turn 11. Where it's staying in second, we're really touching that dirt on the left, pushing the car up the hill. Massive improvement on that exit. Braking in a straight line. Allowing that drama to happen. Letting the car coast. Really, really waiting until the car is pointed enough to get way on throttle. That's our best exit onto that bridge so far. We are still a half a second ahead. Hitting the brakes hard. Patiently Downshifting, but maybe not enough. We're far off of that apex. Letting the car coast, touching the curbing. Really trying to not touch too much of the curbing. Do you see that drama there? We're losing our improvement slowly but surely as we enter the tunnel. Getting the wheels pointed straight and shifting to 5th. Across the line with a 3/10 improvement. We can feel that gold is coming. Just a couple more attempts. 2:15.999. This is the last time you won't know my name. What an epic Honda commercial. Entering the tunnel. Really thinking about how we're pointing the car, even if it's a wide turn like that. We really want to almost touch that curbing on entry. We really want to keep the wheels straight as possible through that wide tunnel turn. Entering turn 1. Braking hard at the 350 point to keep the car straight. Evenly spaced downshifts all the way to 2nd, then an early shift to 3rd before we go down this hill. It's turn 3, turn 4. Under the marker. Into turn 5. Touching that curbing, letting the car push out, braking in a straight line into turn 6. Off camber, getting the car pointed, shifting to 3rd. Turn 7, letting the car coast. Turn 8, trying to keep the car stable into this tight section here, touching the dirt on the right. Really finding all of the room on the left there. Entering turn 11, touching as much of that dirt as we are allowed. A good acceleration up the hill. Entering turn 12. A little bit of drama from the front end of the car. Shifting to 3rd and letting the car coast so we can get the nose pointed to go across this bridge and really getting on the throttle as soon as we were allowed. Slamming on the brakes at the 100 board. Timely downshifts. Getting fully on the gas at that apex. Touching the curbing on the left. Trying to stay off of the bump to the right and really keeping the car stable. Shifting to 3rd and we are across this bridge and approaching the tunnel. Getting the car pointed early so we can get the steering wheel straight early and shifting to 5th very early on the exit of that tunnel. And we see now that slowly creeping to the right makes you ever so slowly but surely faster along that long stretch. Fighting downhill. No point to watch the rest of this. Just drama. Just drama as we approach turn 5. Shifting down in a straight line. Here we go. Turn 6 and just getting on the accelerator too early, but there you have it. 2:15.685. We are still sitting in silver. We need a 2:15.624. Just like 60 milliseconds, guys. 60 milliseconds is what we need. 61 milliseconds. Is that enough to drive you guys mad? It's enough to drive me mad. 61 milliseconds as we approached the tunnel. Shifting to 5th, out of the straight. 61 milliseconds. Crossing the line, approaching turn 1. Slamming on those brakes. Probably at the 320 marker board. Really trying to find every millisecond that we can find. Bombing down the hill, cutting it to the left, back into the left lane. Shifting to 5th early, letting off the gas, letting the car coast. Really trying to get on the gas as early as possible. And there's nothing but mistakes when you have tenths of a milliseconds. 61 milliseconds, guys. We are so close. Approaching the tunnel. Feeling desperate. What can we do? Feeling lost in the woods. Is there a way out? Wondering if we will find the solution as we approach the line. Slamming onto the brakes at the 320 marker. Downshift to 2nd, early upshift to 3rd as we cut in as tight as we can, and we're bombing down the hill, touching that right lane and cutting back into the left. Shift to 5th, and we're letting the car coast down the hill, pointing, throttle 50, throttle 100, touching that curbing, braking in a straight line, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, hearing the tire drama, but waiting for that throttle, and we're really ahead of the ghost now, 3rd, letting the car coast in, but coast wide. Keeping that momentum, touching the dirt on the right, touching as far to the left. We almost touched that wall. We're in 2nd, a little bit of squiggle. We're really in the dirt now, and we're up the hill. Fully on throttle. Approaching turn 12. Braking in a straight line and downshifting to 2nd. Far too early. Really trying to find that line. Shifting to 3rd and letting the car coast, and making our best of that entry onto that straightaway there. 1:27.9. That's our best time we got crossing that sector. We're in 2nd, waiting for that late apex. We're keeping it to the right. We're trying to touch the curbing on the left. And we really are late on that full throttle on the exit. You can see the ghost creeping away slowly but surely. Is this good enough? It's starting to look good as we enter the tunnel. Keeping the steering wheel straight, shifting to 5th as early as possible out of that tunnel. Following the ghost to the right. Are we going to find our 61 milliseconds as we cross the line? We find an improvement. Is it 61 milliseconds? My friends, it is not. We park the car in disdain. Do we exit? Yes. Frustration creeps over us. Will we find our way out of the forest? What can we do to get to gold? What will it take? We have to dig deep. We are down to 20-some milliseconds. What can we do? Feeling desperate as we cross this bridge, entering the tunnel, shaking our heads. But feeling very motivated as we keep the steering wheel straight, exiting this tunnel. 5th, 120 miles an hour in a straight line. Moving like a bullet across the line. We need 20-some milliseconds. Surely this silver S2000 can pull us through the course. Shifting to second, early shift to third as we bomb down the hill. Pointing it to the right a little bit to get some momentum. Fourth, pointing to the left. Early shift to fifth, letting the car coast. Early touching the throttle there, 50%. We're onto the curbing. We're in the other lane completely, braking in a straight line as we patiently downshift. Getting the car pointed to the right, letting it coast to the left here. There we go. As we enter turn 8, we let the car coast out. We're staying in third. A little bit of drama as we enter 9. Pushing all the way to the left. Turn 10. Early downshift to second. Really letting the momentum pull our car through. Touching onto the dirt as much as possible. And getting fully onto throttle all the way up the hill to the 12th turn. Braking hard. Being patient with our downshift, getting the nose pointed in really hard on that 12th turn. Here comes 13 to cross the bridge. We're in third. Letting the car turn in, but still really trying to get onto that throttle as soon as possible. Slowly but surely creeping up onto that ghost. 1:27.7, that is our best crossing of that sector. Hard downshift. Really being patient on those downshifts. There's the late apex, keeping the car to the right. Really getting onto that curbing on the left, really getting that curbing on the right, and an early shift to third is the trick as we exit that last dramatic turn across the bridge, approaching the tunnel. Have we done it, ladies and gentlemen? Into the tunnel, pointing to the left a little bit, really getting to the right, really getting that steering wheel straight. Here we come, flying out of the tunnel. We were in fifth early. We're pretty far to the right compared to all of our exits of that tunnel. Here we are across the line with a 2:15.345. Ladies and gentlemen, we are 3/10ths faster than the gold. It feels good. It feels fantastic. 2:15.345 on comfort softs in a 1999 S2000. Here's the comparison. Top screen is us fighting for 20-some milliseconds. The bottom screen is us having found our way out of the woods in a fashion that is far more beautiful than we could have imagined. You can just see as we bomb this hill here. We approach turn 6. We are exiting turn 6 there much earlier. Turn 8. The car is much more stable. Turn 11, we are really in the dirt there. Barely touching it on that silver rim. Braking hard at that 100 board, maybe a little bit after. But on the bottom, we kept it wide. On the top, we really turned in. On the bottom, we were wide, then we turned in. Much more aggressive exit onto that bridge, which is a crucial point. That's a very long straightaway before we get onto the brakes hard at the 100 board. Time our downshifts, keeping the car stable, waiting for that late apex. We're getting farther to the right on the bottom there and cutting over to the curbing much sooner. Really aggressively across that curbing on the right at the bottom there. We almost touched the orange cones there. Entering the tunnel sooner at the bottom. Into fifth, exiting the tunnel sooner there, and creeping to the right. And across the line, 2:15.345. Here's our in-car replay. And our cinematic replay. there you have it, folks. A 215-345 on Comfort Softs at Grand Valley Highway and a 1999 Honda S2000. That took us on the leaderboard all the way to 8,157 out of who knows how many drivers. That feels really, really good, guys. It feels really good. We could have done better. There was time left out there. I think the fastest time was like a 2:11. Insane. But Happy New Year's 2025. It's going to be a great year for racing and for everything else. So until next time, thank you so much for watching.